All right, guys, welcome to a new episode of the Drunken and Sober Show. Still got to work on like a
On his
working
older
title.
show.
it's the Sober and Drunken Show. I like the itchy and scratchy. Today we're going to talk about Twisted Metal. The show's been out for a while now. We're in season 2, episode 7, which we just caught up and finished, and we wanted to talk about Twisted Metal in general, how the show's faring, and what are we thinking of the first season, the second season, and hopefully potential future stuff that happens, and just the hope, I guess, of producers in Hollywood and whoever it is you want to call, they're treating games a bit more fairly now and a bit more with respect. So I'm loving that right now. We got Sober Guarding with us. If you didn't hear him already,
Hey,
I wanted to first talk about the first impressions of the announcement of the show when we heard, especially Anthony Mackie, because I was really iffy with Anthony Mackie because when it comes to certain celebrities, you worry about how they're gonna go about the games because like Anthony Mackie has this image of already being a superhero. He was already the Falcon at the time, so Anthony Mackie kind of starring in the whole thing was throwing me for a loop. What'd you think of the announcement for Twisted Metal a couple years ago?
when I first saw it and I saw that Anthony Mackie was going to be the main character, I'm like, oh, this is going to be like another Will Smith um and Suicide Squads, where it's just this main character, star power of this main character is going to take over and kind of ruin the show,
Yeah,
or ruin what it is, because the character of and you don't know who he is when you first impression, so we'll go over that later. But so when I
I mean the
first saw
character.
that, I was like, oh, yeah, because you don't know
Yeah,
who he was gonna play, so you just heard he was in there. But
yeah,
when I saw the first trailer, I was like, you know what? They're doing practical effects. There's not a lot of CGI. There's some CGI, but it's really bad when they do it. So they do mostly practical effects with the costumes and stuff like that, which I really like. I like the way Sweet Tooth looked when they first showed it. I like the way they showed his truck, and they showed a few different things. And I think they even showed Roadkill in the trailer. Oh, the car itself, anyway. And I'm like, oh, that looks like the Twisted Metal Black version. I can see that.
hmm
This has promise, and they what they showed off in the first trailer, I was very impressed. What about you?
yeah. It was well, actually, no. It was a bit opposite. Because they didn't show a lot of car combat from what I could remember. They showed a little bit, and I was kind of worried. You know how like some trailers they show a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I felt like the trailers were already giving away a lot of what the action was already going to be. So I felt like we
Mm.
weren't going to see a lot of anything. Just Anthony Mackie being, like you said, they were using him as star power for the show, and it was going to revolve around him. And I was like, "Who's this guy? I don't know. How are they going to ground the show? Are they going to be all crazy and fantastical with it, like the games are? How much car combat is there going to be?" So when I saw the trailer, I was cautiously optimistic, but more so leaning on just like, oh shit, they're gonna fuck this up too. So I actually didn't have much hope for it. And of course, you know me, I'm still gonna give it a chance. I'll watch anything involved in video games just to kind of support the idea of putting video games in other media. But I was not excited, I guess. Uh, but the first season, um, when I went through it, I was a bit annoyed with Anthony Mackie's character. He comes off like it's a really, how do you say, like a campy character or a campy type of attitude with the way that he's acting. But it kind of seems like he's having fun with it. But I wasn't enjoying it because I don't know where they were going with him. But I stuck with it, and I think I was mostly enjoying the first season because of the story with Quiet, and then every now and then they would like do little Easter eggs of some of the characters. Um, so you'll see some of the cars and some of the characters throughout the show, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, they're throwing things here and there, but I was like, where the fuck is actually Twisted Metal? Where is like the combat, the action, and like the crazy like stuff? And Sweet Tooth was there, but Sweet Tooth was kind of like uh how do you say, kind of like a running joke, and kind of just like everybody was scared of him, so everyone was kind of just running away from him. So that took a while to grow on me. And I think Samoa Joe does a good job. I don't even know why we have to use Will Arnett's voice in order to do the sweet tooth thing. I think Samoa Joe probably would have done a good job regardless, for doing the voice and the actual acting. But then towards the end, when like the climax of everything happens, that's when I like, oh, they were really building up to it. They were really taking their time with character development, and then we get the car combat. Is that how you felt with
Yeah,
season one?
partially. So like when I first watched it, the first season, this is the first thing I really saw Anthony Mackie that he wasn't obviously playing Falcon, and this is
Yeah,
before Captain America, Get New Hope, of
his
course,
movie. Yeah,
his movie, yeah. And when I first saw it, it's a very different character from what Falcon. Falcon's very serious. He's doing serious acting. He's that ultimate sidekick guy in that movie.
right.
And so when you saw this, you're like, oh, he's just having fun. And this is kind of interesting because he's just having fun out there. I don't think he's fully taking this seriously. And I kind of like that. I kind of enjoyed that because it looked like they were having fun. I liked the storyline of him and Quiet a lot. I thought that was interesting, but I didn't think that was Twisted Metal. And I didn't understand
With Quiet, you mean?
yeah, with John Doe and
Yeah.
Quiet. Everything that happened with John Doe and Quiet. The whole milkman, the whole wanting to go and remember living the inside type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
trying to find a way inside, all that behind the walls, like his dream. All of it just had nothing to do with Twisted Metal to me, and that was a little disappointing. But like you said, they gave you enough of those Easter eggs of the world of the Easter egg of the Twisted Metal world of like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're all these the police character. They're building up to that's who he is. That was a big part of the first season. Obviously, Sweet Tooth, and I liked what they did with Sweet Tooth because he was kind of like, to me, he was like Freddy Krueger, old Freddy Krueger, not rapey Freddy Krueger. Excuse me, but the first Freddy Krueger, he was like very jokey and scary at the same time, and that's kind of what you got from mostly like the Joker almost, where it's like he's so demented and twisted, and he doesn't know what reality is, and he's gonna kill you, and then he's hunting people down, and it was so messed up the way he was hunting people down, kind of thing. Not messed up, but interesting. And so I liked what they did with that and the development of him and Stu and stuff like that. I thought it was fun. I thought it was really good, and I liked that because again, that was a lot of Easter eggs towards the game. The Harold the Bag was I think his first wish or something. Like, there's a lot behind that, which I really liked. And then, like I said, periodically do Easter eggs. I liked it, and then loved it once they finally got into the car and started doing actual car stuff. Even towards it was basically like the last 2 or 3 episodes with like the grasshopper car and
Yeah.
obviously roadkill, like they fully turned it into full roadkill eventually, and Sweet Tooth's car and everything. And I thought that was awesome, and I thought that was great lead up to it. I think what happened, and I don't know for sure if this was always the plan, it was they tried to create this world, this to me is very basic, like it's very almost cliche apocalyptic world of they trade. It was almost like Fallout. Like it felt like Fallout to me. Like they took Fallout storyline and then try to put it into Twisted Metal. Like they trade other stuff. They have a milkman that goes in between and trade things that aren't money. Like it's not quite bottle caps, but it damn near should be of the shit they were trading. And it was kind of silly and ridiculous. And the world itself, I just didn't care about because I just wanted to know what was going on with these cool characters that we all love from the game, because the game was very straightforward. Of their old school games with not a lot of story besides when you beat a character. Once you see somebody's ending, you kind of get their full story, what they wish, what they're doing, what they should have done. So you get their full story on that. So it was like, all right, I know these characters, they don't have much, so you just have to just give me more policemen, give me more Sweet Tooth, give me more what John Doe, which Marcus was in the from the game. I want that. And I think for the second season, again, they realized that the ending with the cars and everything is what they really wanted. and they again, I don't know if it was planned, but they fully embraced. Okay, you like the ending a lot. That's what you guys like mostly. We're gonna get away from this weird world that nobody really cares about, and just focus on these cars.
So you think that they didn't plan that?
I don't know, because it seems as if they just completely they obviously recast the Raven girl, named her something else. They recast that person. I was obviously recast.
Yeah.
And they threw away everything that she stood for when it comes to the walls and everything and the world itself, and trying to just survive obviously popular world. And they kind of just threw away all that in the second season for cool car stuff. You're just going to see explosions of things and stuff like that. So it's going to happen, and I like that. But so they might have planned that. I don't 100% know, or maybe they took full feedback. I'm guessing they planned it, but it just seems like they just fully embraced into the more, especially the second season, the more like you said, of mystical aspect of the video game, right? With Calypso and Sweet Tooth burning his head without being hurt, and stuff with Grim that you're not sure if it's supernatural or if it's just twisted in his head or whatever. But either way, it seems as if it's supernatural, and just the way that the weapons and the guns and the fact that there are bullets shooting on people's cars, and that a single car has a single bullet hole in any one of those cars at all. Every car is perfectly bulletproof. So it's like they made it a game. I feel like they made it a game. It's a game. It's a game. It's silly. It's fake, and they're kind of fully embracing that, and I like that.
Speaking of which, Calypso, they teased him in the first season, and I was not very impressed with that too, because he was just kind of hiding, and I kind of felt like that he was like a throwaway thing, kind of just because they were carrying the delivery thing, and he was they have the MacGuffin and they're taking it someplace, and Calypso was just not even seen. So now they're really pushing the actual video game. What were your thoughts on Calypso's presentation?
So I don't like Calypso's full sorry. There's times I really like Calypso when he looks scary, acts scary, but for some reason they want to give him this, which is it's a big tone of the show. Don't get me wrong. Most of the tone of the show is twisted funny, right? Twisted humor. Yeah. It's basically the theme of the show. So that's what they want to do with Calypso, where he's mostly serious. Don't fuck with me. I can make your wish come true. I can end it, type of thing. But then every now and then he's like, "Oh, can you hear me, guys?" He's very comic relief almost, for portions that don't fit to me. I like the introduction when they first. Well, in one of the episodes where they kind of give you a little bit of backstory of how he first saw John.
Yes.
And John might even realize it.
How does he not remember that, by the way? That kind of bothered me. You don't forget a face like that.
Yes, I can see that, because if you're in this weird world where there's hundreds of crazy people and just another crazy guy who's doing something else crazy, you're like, why would you really remember that? Especially when he looked like a bum. So he looked and acted like a bum, and he's like, oh,
but then also
soda.
But then the soda thing was a standout thing also. He came out with soda after soda after soda, and then he left him a fucking 6-pack. I would remember that too.
And it might be he's just a guy. Maybe again, you see so many people, especially with he's supposed to be his line of work. He was constantly seeing people and going back and forth and doing deliveries, and just he was able to manipulate the world a lot better than most people could to survive. So it's one of those things where if you see so many crazy people, then I can kind of see that a little bit. And then it's just I got soda, but no, he didn't actually affect my life. So, and maybe they'll pay homage to that. He'll give him a soda, and then he'll remember some stupid shit like that later. Who cares? That doesn't really bother me that much, but I do like the intro. Which is not really intro, but his little interaction with each other of it was more mysterious and creepy, and I just wish they kept it like that. I feel like sometimes they just kept going with this jokiness of, hey guys, take me serious. I'm almost as if he's catching a tantrum at times. To take me serious, and it's well, doesn't really need that. That's not what Calypso is. Calypso is in charge.
So, question with that:
Yeah.
question with that, because they seem like they're trying to humanize him, but they're also, because during that flashback scene, he's like, oh, my wish, if I, Calypso was saying, if my wish, I had a dream, or I had a wish, it would be to be seen. So I'm wondering what that means to him. Like, that sounds very human type of wish. So I'm wondering if they're gonna touch more on his backstory, even though Calypso doesn't have too much of a backstory in the games, and that's the point. Is that supposed to be he's kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on that versus the fact that they're introducing supernatural elements, because they show him like with the eyes and the teleportation when he's talking to Raven. So
I think they
what'd you
should
think?
fully embrace that, right? I think they should fully embrace that. Like, I was actually hoping like something even cheesier would be like Calypso gives people powers, like of a special move or something stupid like that, because that's what the game was, right? They all had some crazy weird power to do
Yeah.
something stupid. And that was their special, and
Yeah.
they talked about specials, like, oh, we're gonna get specials, and like they literally said that they were gonna get specials for weapons, like, and I get that, and I like that, and I'm like that. It's cheesy, but it's not supposed to be taken serious. This is not something you should take serious. You shouldn't try to Batman this situation where you're like, we're gonna put a realistic approach to the apocalypse. It's like, no, this is a fucking stupid show based off a game that didn't have much storyline. Just go for it. Fully embrace that, and I like that. So I'm hoping, like I said, they even do even more with everybody. And you never know; it's not too late, so they can fully
Well,
still embrace crazy
yeah. Oh,
shit.
yeah. They'll definitely do more, I'm sure. What are your thoughts on the new character Mayhem? She's not an actual character in the video games. She's still very
So,
mysterious.
so real quick before we get into Mayhem, because it kind of ties into what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. I realize I something in the second season that I don't like. It drives me nuts. I actually don't like John Doe. I don't like Anthony Mackie. I realized that after the second season that I'm not a fan of him. The way
Mm-hmm.
he acts is very jokey, and I just the bottom just bothers me.
It's
And it was
almost like
fine.
he doesn't take the role seriously.
Yeah, and at first it was like, I'm just having fun with this. I'm Captain America, bitch. I don't need this. I'm just gonna have fun with it. And but the second season, he's still a main character, and it just seems in the beginning, especially, it got better towards the end once he started doing the driving stuff. He got a little more serious. But the roles where he's doing comic relief, like in the shower, or doing the babysitting club scene, like all of that to me was just really like he annoys the hell out of me when he does that. And what really annoys me though is I don't like Quiet in this second season at all, because her personality it's a different character. Like, they even made a joke of like, your name's Quiet, and like she's just talking a mile a minute, and it's like
She was like that in the first season.
in the first season. She was, well, the first season for like the first two episodes. I don't think she even said
Yeah.
anything, right?
Yeah. But that was the
Quiet.
point. That was
and,
the point.
and then you got the backstory of why she was like that. And then even when they started getting at it and becoming a couple, she was still more angry and with a purpose. I felt like she was very angry with a purpose. That was her personality. It's like, I'm this quiet badass. And this one, she seems so bubbly almost. So like happy and smiley, and the complete opposite. And it just, to me, it just feels like, and then now she's playing this weird motherly role for Mayhem, and to me, it's annoying, because it's like, this is a complete 360 of a character that we're not that much time has passed, and there really is no reason for you to have this 360 of a character change. You still have the same shit. You're still dead brothers, still living this fucked up world, all this stuff. So why are you so bubbly, and why you all of a sudden care so much about this kid? And I get the aspect of having her all of a sudden play this mother role to the kid as like something that can change her, who she was. Like, I was quiet, and all I wanted to do was kill people and hurt people or whatever, because I was hurting, so now I want to protect somebody. But she just, so like, the first thing you see her, she's just literally smiling up a storm and like having sex with everybody and stuff like that. And to me, it was a little cheesy. So I don't like the dynamic really that much between John Doe and Quiet anymore. So I don't care about them at all for the second season. Like, if they were to be taken out of the situation, to me, the story will still be very much the same, kind. I mean, like not 100%. Don't get me wrong, but the interest will still kind of be there. Sweet Tooth will still be fucked up and trying to chase Grim. Used to be wondering what the fuck's going on with Grim. Used to be wondering what the fuck's going on with Axel. Things like that. And yes, I know you need a main character, but those two, I don't care as much as I care about every single other person. And Mayhem, I think, is interesting. I mean, she's obviously a made up character, and there's a lot of made up stuff in this anyway. Like John Doe's background is not related to Dollface at all, right? Dollface's character is not Jesus, fucking woman, and this feminist, ultimate feminist. It was more vain, why she had the little scar on her face, and for some reason they decided to add, like, I felt like last minute almost. And it's fine that they made them like related, but the story behind Marcus was very basic. I'm not sure if you know, it was super basic actually. It was once
Marcus?
you got this, he was John Doe. John
Oh, John Doe. Yeah.
So John Doe.
I was thinking of Sweet Tooth because they kind of said his name when Mr. Grimm approached him.
Yeah, so I don't even know how that ties, because like that was, I think that was his name was actually Marcus, is what they called Sweet Tooth in this. You're right. So which is why it's confusing, because again, the John Doe character, obviously, and besides the fact that he was white, just forget that. But the whole point was that John Doe was an undercover FBI agent who was super deep undercover, so deep that he made it on the top 10 most wanted list because he was undercover. There was a bomb about to go off. Instead of letting the bomb blow up the building, he threw it out the window, exploded, and that's how he got knocked unconscious. And he lost his memory, and he forgot who he was. Super basic. Found out who he was, and then he wanted to just remember. Once he remembered, Calypso killed him because, well, you're on the top wanted list. I'm gonna bring you in, and he killed him. So that was very basic of what John Doe's storyline is. So I get them wanting to give more, but I feel like I just wish they would have just stood true to some of the actual storylines in the games. They pick a series, fucking whether it be Twisted Metal Black or the first ones or whatever, and just really hardcore stick with those storylines of the game to leave their homage. Instead, they just took the character ideas on everybody, including Sweet Tooth, and are just expanding upon what the idea of the character is.
So Mayhem herself, though, again, like, do you have any theories on her? Are you enjoying her as a solo character?
So no, because again, she to me just seems like I am the kid who is supposed to turn quiet in John Doe to want to care. And ultimately, she's gonna end up being somebody's fucking daughter, whether it be Calypso's daughter.
I heard it was Calypso's or something, yeah,
or Raven, or a combination. Who knows, right? Like that to me is too on the nose, and it's gonna be like, yeah, they don't give a shit, and we're gonna take care of you. I got it. I get that's what her character is. It's funny to see, like this,
which is strange though. If she's Calypso's daughter. I don't think she's Calypso's daughter, because I would think Calypso would have said something by now, because clearly he saw her win the pre what do you call it, like the pre-eliminations or preliminal, I don't forget the beginning match,
semifinals,
and then not the semifinals, just at the beginning, the initial race, and then
qualifying round,
yes. And then there's a moment where they're in the garage and he's talking with Quiet and John, and she walks away or comes to them. I can't remember which. Regardless, she was in the shot also, and Calypso says nothing. So I don't, either he's ignoring her on purpose or he doesn't know. So that would probably be a thing, but I think maybe she's just a red herring and she'll end up being a daughter. Yeah, for somebody else, maybe maybe
even Raven. Like that could be a twist that
I don't think so, because they insinuated that Raven's in love with her best friend, the female that died.
Which could still be a red herring as well.
Yeah.
Of like, I was forced to, whatever, to survive, and this is the kid that popped out. Who knows? Or
everybody, we're only up to episode 7, so we'll see what happens from that point on. But what do you think of the change to Dollface specifically? Now that Dollface is kind of John's sister, and she does have the scar on her face, but it's still a change from her character because
They put the scar on her face.
Dollface was supposed to be a vain person, and she has like a very small scar, and her wish was to be beautiful again, or some crazy shit. Like she basically just went psychotic over one little scratch on her face.
Yeah, the whole, it's kind of touched on it before. The whole storyline with Dollface to me is silly. It's like, again, they took the. Actually, you know what? They didn't even take the premise of her. They completely wanted to change her for whatever reason. Like nothing about her original stories or any incarnation of it is similar to this. It's weird. And then they gave her the scar for like an episode, and then spoilers for people who haven't seen episode 6, I think it was. They kill her, right? So it was like, why give her the scar? What was the point? And maybe that was a little Easter egg. Maybe it was an Easter egg towards what the character was.
I'm wondering if maybe she wasn't meant to portray the actual Dollface, that someone else will take the mantle, like for her, and be like the actual traditional Dollface. Like that would be my guess.
And that is an idea of what could happen with a lot of these characters. Of like, they're not all traditional. There's multiple versions of Sweet Tooth. There's the Marcus. I think that one is Marcus.
There's Marcus and Needles.
And then there's literally like a double version that ends up running the games for a little bit. In Calypso's absence, but the Calypso dies or something. So it's like, there are multiple versions, and you can continue on that path and find those ways to bring these characters back in different iterations, because it's kind of just about the cars, really. If you think about it, it's about the cars that link up to the character, and as long as you have that feel of it, you can continue them. And that's what's really fun about Twisted Metal, especially there being so many, is that you could do like 2 more seasons even without John Doe and still continue.
So where would you continue with? Like, if not John, would you do Quiet or Pop? Maybe that's why they're introducing Mayhem, so she could be the new face of.
Yeah, she could be the new face. I feel like you almost have to do it with John still, because of he's the main actor, so he's the main character. He'll always be the main character. But I'm just saying you could, if you wanted to, for whatever, do a spinoff or something. But they're gonna obviously continue with John Doe and going through all this stuff, and it'll be like Squid Games 2, of like, I've been through these games, they're fucked up. Well, I can do it again. I can see them doing that, and it'd be even more messed up because it'd be even more more like magical or whatever, more supernatural.
What were your thoughts of Mr. Grimm and like the little fake out with him being supernatural and then kind of not?
So it's
or Grimm as a character. What did you think of him?
I like what they're doing. He came out the insane asylum. You don't fully know if he actually does have multiple personalities or if he's just crazy. Kind of still don't know. They haven't really fully said, because they have supernatural aspects in this. So for all you know, he kills like Mayhem or something, or Quiet, and takes her soul and knows things about her that John wouldn't have known. And only John would know to like fuck with you. And then they can make it a little storyline if they wanted to, that they'll get to get about. So I like that, the fact they leave it open, because you could do more. And I like the fact that it's supernatural. I have no problem with him. They gave him the big cheese.
Well, he's not though. He's not supernatural. That was the point, is that they made him out to look supernatural when he stole a couple of the souls when he first introduced him. But I think you never got to look back at that scene I told you probably missed.
No, I know what you mean. I know everybody looked at him and he saw that he's talking to himself, and then he was just
not even just talking to himself, but he's doing the soul sucking movements or whatever, and the sounds.
Yeah.
And then Quiet sees him and he's like doing nothing. It's all just in his head pretty much, which I found to be fucking hilarious.
But they can always play it off like, yeah, you can't see it, but he knows it's happening. This is actually happening. Like, they could still play it off either way, that it actually is real, and he actually does do this with people. But what you see is, you just think he's fucking nuts, and that's probably why he was in the sentence to begin with. Like, it could go, you could make it either way, and either way would be okay, because this has supernatural aspects in it, right? Calypso was the proof. If Calypso did not do the teleporting and the eye thing, then you will fully believe no, all these people are just crazy. But then you gotta fucking try to explain the fire ahead from fucking Sweet Tooth, which
and no scars, no burns, no nothing on him. So it's
doesn't
like
say anything. Like they literally comes out the car and it just like bad CGI goes away in a puff of smoke, and it's like,
yeah,
I get that, but like it could have done something, but it was still fun. Regardless, it's still fun. I like the character. I'm not sure about how I feel about Axel too much. I think it's a little.
I like Axel.
I love the way he looks. I think it's perfect the way he looks. How they did all the practical effects and stuff like that for Axel. I think is really cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about the story itself, the backstory of it was a fucked up story of him being trapped. He was permanently trapped in this thing. He was actually the Axel, not just a mechanical thing that he can come in and out of.
Well, I mean, they still haven't touched on his backstory though, because it seemed like he was involved with that weird scientist that they killed off when they first met Axel. But the main story for Axel is that his father did that to him. So I'm wondering if they still have that backstory, like they're waiting for that, or maybe they did just brush it off and they just made it that that crazy scientist did that to him, and now we're moving on.
Yeah, because you don't know how much they're gonna touch on. There's so many characters, so you don't know who they're gonna touch on fully and who they're not. They already did the holy people in the last season with Preacher. So you don't need to touch on it more. And now it's Preacher Baby, so they're not going to touch on them. Obviously, they're not going to touch on the Floridian person.
The Preacher Baby thing is so stupid.
I think it's funny.
I don't like it.
It's what this whole show is about, right? It's being supernatural, not taking itself seriously, and being funny and gruesome at the same time. It's a representation, and they're throwaway characters. They're not. You don't really need fucking actual Preacher to come back for no reason. I'm surprised they didn't put in Policeman. I know that he died, but I thought he was going to come back somehow. For some reason, I just thought that.
Outlaw. Yeah.
Outlaw, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought they would somehow, but I guess they didn't. I thought they were just perfectly setting that up to have Outlaw come back, but I think they might have killed him in the first one. I don't 100% remember what happened at the end. Remember rockets and stuff, but I thought they were
lots of explosions. I'm pretty sure they killed him.
But yeah, and then they had other characters. There was the grasshopper, the old school grasshopper vehicle with the bug. It's just a lot of weird stuff.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Roach Coach.
Roach Coach, sorry, the Roach Coach in the background. Roach Coach. They showed stuff like that. They don't really touch on them. They also have the Floridian people, which I think is fucking funny. Which I don't know who that is in the game, but I feel like they all kind of touch.
My favorite car was Thumper, and I'm mad that they don't have him in this show. No. I think he was like a pimp or something. I think that's what he was in the games. Yeah. But I just liked his special, like his move set and stuff in the games. That's what I liked about him the most.
Yeah, I expect. Remember him? His guns.
He had the spy type of car, right?
Yeah, which I'm wondering if that was supposed to be what Mayhem's vehicle is supposed to be Spectre's vehicle or something.
Oh no, actually no. Yeah, the one that she steals from that guy.
Yeah,
I think that's so. He said his name. Wow. He is. So he is. He is. So they changed it. They changed the lore because they gave his name, and I can't remember his name right now. I'm drawing a blank, but I know for 100% sure he is a character from Asian Twisted Metal 4. he's from Twisted Metal 4, I think it is. And he is a robot alien bounty hunter after Calypso. So obviously that's stupid and outrageous. So I guess they just made him a talking car at this point.
Yeah. So again. They're changed. They trying to take the premise on most of the characters and put their own lore into it and actual ongoing storylines they can use or not use. So it's been fun overall. So it's really been a really fun ride. So I can't complain too much about it. It's not like they did Last of Us or whatever where they're doing everything word for word, which is fine when it comes to something that's so vague as this. It's just that yes, the backstories are vague in the game. They were literally maybe a page long for every single person. But at least you could have took that page long of what they actually had and then expand upon that. I felt like that was the only miss that I see through everything, because whenever somebody else, like, I feel like I'm not the only one who will Google right away who's Mayhem in the game, or who's Calypso, or who's Sweet Tooth, or who's John Doe, Roadkill, or whatever the car when they name their cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like looking that up and then looking up their backstories or their endings and stuff, and then go, that doesn't match. Oh, never mind, that's not giving me information. So I feel like that's the only that's the big miss. Like, I just wish they did a little more true to it. But
well, I mean, I feel like that's gonna go.
Stuff.
That's gonna go more for the fans of the games, because you know how they can be a little bit too demanding on everything to be so, you know, damn accurate. So like, if you stray from anything at all, then the whole thing just sucks and it's stupid. But I disagree. Like, you have to change stuff up, just either for shock's sake or for interest's sake. Because like, if you already know anything and everything that's gonna happen, then it doesn't make anything fun and exciting to watch. Like, because you already know what's gonna happen. The Last of Us would probably be kind of the only exception, I guess.
I think God of War would be another exception as well.
Do you think they're going to follow things like exactly, or are they going to do kind of their own thing?
I think they're going to follow pretty exact. I think they're going to try to imitate what they did with Last of Us and do with God of War. And that's why they greenlit it. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. But
I don't know. We'll see about that. So overall, actually, no, we didn't talk about the car combat itself though. Like, what'd you think of the car combat? Like, was that fun for you to watch, especially like with all the new missiles and the new cool weapons that they had?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's really fun. It's going to be mostly about what the events and the games are going to be that make it interesting. Because after a while, there's only so much you can watch the two people shooting each other.
Right.
Again, I kind of said before that I thought the fact that it's weird that people are being shot up with these high caliber rocket rounds, and they show, oh, look at this, these are armor piercing, blah blah blah, all this shit. And everybody kind of has access to all of it, and not only running just fine, there's not a single bullet hole in any one of these cars, and they constantly show them get shot up, constantly showing them get shot up, and nothing happens. But I do like that they're adding stupid guns and stupid abilities, like the U-turn missile, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it turned it around with the preacher.
It was the U-turn or boomerang. It was a U-turn or
boomerang. It was boomerang. It was boomerang.
And I'm like, that's fucking hilarious, because either way, I'm thinking in my head, did the boomerang just come back to you? Does that make sense? And it's exactly what happened. They fucking shot it and fucking came back. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. That's just so stupid. It's funny, you know. And with the they do a lot of homage to napalm, and they had a lot of homages towards other guns and weapons and abilities that were in it if you go back and look at that giant vault. So stuff like that's fun. Like, I have no problem with that. I like it. It's interesting. Nobody really seems to be dying from any of the real guns though, or the explosions. It's all like the event that
outside
killed them. Like,
of the combat car combat.
Yeah, it's outside of the car combat is when they're dying, or they just didn't make it in time, so they explode. I guess it's kind of what they showed. But I thought that was kind of weird when it's a game that's based off of, like, cars exploding other cars. But I guess that's fine. You can't
actually. You make a good point, because watching the car combat, it can get boring after a while, but maybe that's the point of Calypso doing like different types of trials rather than just combat itself. Like, yes, there's combat involved, but now you have to find the tag. So I'm wondering what the other trials are going to be to make it more fun and interesting to watch car combat.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's a very video game trope anyway, of like, yes, you have to kill each other, but you always had some kind of objective, especially when with Black and Up. They gave you, it was always a huge objective base to do something or collect something or whatever. So I feel like those are just giant tropes of it. I like the GPS section that he gave him, the GPS, which was like straight out of the game.
The radar.
The radar. I could tell what the radar stuff is. It's like, oh, that's cute. That's another, homage to the game. I get it. So that was fun, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Of like, since he came in last place or first place or some shit like that. I forgot. It was a really bad excuse on why they got it. I think it was like legit, like because they came in last place, we're gonna give them advantage. here. And I'm
Yeah,
like, did they?
it was a pro and a con to it, because the pro was
Yeah,
that they get that benefit, but the con was that now they got a target on their back.
yeah, and I get it, and it's just a fun way. I feel like they did something like that in a really bad one of the last Resident Evil movie, and they
Hmm.
did something exactly like that. Like, I have a map of the area, and they pulled out, it was the fucking map from the game, of the. It's like, that's cute. I get
Yeah.
it. It's a video game trope, that you have a map for no reason, um, or radar. It tells you exactly where you're at. So I like that. Again, it's campy, but it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be based off of silly video game that explodes cars. So
Mm. So overall, what are your thoughts of season 2? Better than season 1? Kind of on
I like it a lot
par?
more. I like it a lot more than season one. I really do
Okay.
like it a lot more. Only because, yes, the first season was pure setup of telling you who these characters were, a lot of backstory exposition. Every episode started with, I think almost every episode started with some kind of backstory of something or somebody, or at least had a portion of it where it was some kind of backstory or something. Every single
Yeah.
episode, because it was just
Yeah.
pure exposition to tell you, look, these are these characters, who these are, this is who this world is. And now that they're past that, it really is more of just like, we're getting into the nitty gritty of this tournament.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
it's long to get into it, like 6 episodes to actually get into the actual tournament itself.
yeah.
But yeah, pretty much 6, 5 or 6.
They
But
they
still, it's fun.
they even when they introduce new characters, I feel like they do it quickly because they just want to get through the main story and the actual tournament itself. It seems like
Yeah.
and I say this in a good way, but everything feels rushed so they can get to the point of the tournament. So all the new characters that they're introducing, things happen really fast, people talk really fast, the scenes happen really fast. So that way you can build up to the tournament stuff. So that now we're on episode 7 and they just finished their first round of what do you call them? Car combat tees or something. Car combatees or whatever you want to call them. So now we got 8, 9, and 10. I think it's 10 episodes. So we still have plenty of time to see more of the tournament, and maybe they're focused more on like what's going on with Calypso. Oh, and by the way, too, I really like that fucked up wish that John made. So he stole the wish from Quiet, which was messed up. So I like that dynamic of the story of just like, I'm wondering how Calypso's gonna do this.
If one wish per car.
One wish per car. Is he only going to count that one wish, or is he going to count the most recent wish? Will he give them both that wish because it's 2 combatants in one car? Who knows?
And I'm wondering also, is like, they never. I don't know if they actually said it's going to be one person gets a wish, or if they're going to do multiple wishes, or what. And then if they do multiple wishes, will it be a trope of like John or Quiet just steals somebody else's car? I can see that's why
mayhem. So they can get their separate wishes,
and they go get their wishes, type of thing. Like, I don't know where they're going with that. I'm interested, but I hope the only thing I hope they do, regardless, is show the wishes of some of the main characters. You don't have to show all of them. Like, I don't know if Floridian person is wishing for. I really don't. But I would like to know what Sweet Tooth wished for. I would like to know.
I want to see the wishes. No,
really stupid.
Like I mentioned to you before, I want them to pull like Clue. If anyone's seen the movie Clue, at the end of the movie, you get the main ending, but they also give you alternate endings of what if this person was the killer or that person was the killer. So this one, I'm wondering if they're going to do something of just like throw in like maybe like just the main characters, like Sweet Tooth, maybe Grim, of course, Quiet and John, maybe Mayhem, and that's pretty much it. Because I doubt that I want to see freaking Roach Coach, who she already said that she wants the whole world to be taken over by bugs. Don't care. So just the main ones that sound juicy.
I want them to. I know you say Clue, but I want the original Clue ending. You know what the original Clue was, right? So the original Clue ending, they only had one of those endings in every.
In every theater.
Every theater.
So you didn't
know which ending you were gonna get when you saw the movie, and you also did it because no internet back then. So you also didn't know if there was multiple endings he talked
So
to
people
somebody
would talk
else
about
who
it.
also
Yeah.
saw it. And then we're like, what? You had it? No, it was Mr. White did it. They showed it at the end. No, it was Mustard. He did it. And then it was like, what? No, the one I
Yeah.
saw clearly. So
I love
that
that.
was fucking hilarious. For the DVD, they put them together. They made an alternate ending for the DVD that it was like, but wait, this happened. But that would be cool. What if they did that for like different
Yeah.
regions of the US or whatever? It's like they got different endings and you didn't even realize it.
But I don't know if that's going to same the same impact though, because the internet talks so quickly. Like we'll find out in like 30 minutes that like everything was that's the way they planned everything.
Yeah, or they can have multiple. Yeah, that would probably be it. Yeah, they can't really fully pull that off anymore because of the internet. It's so fucking. You can easily just go look online.
They're
and you
quick
can see
with it. Yeah.
You can see the ending now, type of thing within like 30 minutes. But that would be fucking hilarious if like you were like, wait, no, that was my fucking John Doe lost. He died. Quiet killed him. It's like what? Wait, hold on. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we're both loving the show so far, the second season. Yeah, there's some stuff that's rough around the edges, but I think I'm enjoying it so far. Deanie's enjoying it so far. And we'll probably get back to you guys on a future episode on what we think of the ending of season 2 and our hopes, I guess, for a season 3, depending on how things work out. We'll see. Any other thoughts before we go?
No, that's it. What did you think, real quick, before we go, of the second season versus the first? You liked which one more?
Oh yeah, I like the second season more too, because it feels more twisted metal. Yeah, that first season was just, I get it. It was more character development, so it was slow, but it was nice in retrospect. Like I think at the time I was just like, come on, I want to get on with like the craziness, but I think it was worth it. So season 2 was a bit better because there's more action, there's more twisted metal-iness, and we got Calypso. I love Calypso. Like his character is so fucking cool. So his character in the show, I think it's kind of a little bit of a mix. I like the actor, and we recently saw him in Superman. He was Metamorpho. He does a lot of other cool stuff. He's Victor Zsasz too from Gotham.
I had no clue who this
so
guy
he's awesome. I like him a lot. So I think he pulls off Calypso really cool. He's very like, it's like almost like he's evil but playful and very like psychotic but very educated. So it's like he still comes off as really mysterious, and that's what I like about it. So yeah, I enjoy his second season, especially because of Calypso and there's more twisted metal tournament stuff involved in it. So yeah, can't wait for more. So yeah, we'll see you at the end of season 2. Bye guys.